number 10, and I hope we're keeping with time. How much time is it?
6.5 minutes.
Okay. Number 10 is like all prophets of God, his mission was not different. That is to love God, relate to God, connect with God, fulfill our obligation to God and fellow human beings. As the Quran says in more than one place, but one of them says, God is my Lord and your Lord. He's quoting Jesus. God is my Lord and your Lord. Then, therefore, worship him alone. Now, this is very interesting because in the Gospel of John, in chapter 20, verse 17, Jesus says, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, my God and your God. Jesus is referring to God as his God. That's very interesting. The other quotation in the Quran that is of relevance, it says, and the blessed Jesus said, O children of Israel, worship God. Again, my Lord and your Lord. For whosoever joins others with God, meaning in his exclusive divine attributes, God will forbid paradise to him, and for the wrongdoer, meaning in the day of judgment, there will be no helpers. This is quoted on the tongue of Jesus according to the Quran. 11. Like many other prophets before him, Jesus was rejected. Just as Abraham was rejected, as Noah was rejected, as Muhammad and Moses were both rejected by their people in some way or the other. That's not surprising. Anyone who speaks the truth is surrounded by those who have their own vested interests and agendas that they do not wish the truth to emerge and for people to listen to it. The Quran speaks freely about that. In fact, the Quran goes again into an area where Muslims and Christians agree. That not only was Jesus rejected, but that there was a conspiracy to crucify him. Up to that point, there is agreement. The Quran says Allah or God raised him unto himself. I believe there is agreement on that point in both the New Testament and the Quran. There is one difference, however, in a statement in the Quran that has been subjected to a whole range of interpretation. And that verse in chapter 4 says, but they killed him not, nor did they crucify him, but it so appeared to them, or it could translate, it was made to appear to them. It so appeared, but it is not reality. There have been a variety of interpretation, but I must make it clear. There is a big difference between the exact text of the Quran in the original language in which it was revealed, which is already in our hands today, and the commentaries and interpretations of Muslim scholars or commentators on the Quran. Unfortunately, I see some people quoting opinions of commentators as if it is the text of the Quran. No, they could be right, they could be wrong. That's why some interpretations said that God threw the likeness of Jesus on the face of Judas the Iscariot who betrayed him, and it was Judas actually who was crucified in his place because he appeared in speech and shape everything like Jesus. That's one. It's an opinion. Others said that they arrested another man and put him in his place. That's an opinion. It could be right or wrong. However, I must bring to your attention two things. One, a minority opinion held by a scholar, a Muslim scholar, Dr. Mahmoud Ayyub, who teaches in Philadelphia, in Temple University, that he referred to verses in the Quran that speak about killing and so on. And he concluded, in his opinion, that it is possible that Jesus was crucified, and when the Quran say they did not kill him or crucify him, mean not with their own will, but it was the will of God that this happens. Again, I'm not taking sides, but I'm simply saying that there's a whole range of interpretation of a text that is, it's very rather ambiguous and can be interpreted in more than one way. But the most important point that I'd like to say, that theologically speaking, it would not make the slightest difference for a Muslim. I do realize and I expect the fact that there are many Christians who believe that the 3 days, the crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Jesus is the foundation of the faith rather than what Jesus said all the time. Fine, I respect their right to believe in this. However, from a Muslim perspective, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever, even if Jesus was crucified. This is not argued. Even if it didn't. For a Muslim, it doesn't mean anything. Many great prophets in the past were killed by their people. In the time of Jesus, John the Baptist was killed and his head was, cut off. I mean, the idea of killing a prophet is not indignity to the prophet, it is indignity to the killers. He is a martyr for the sake of the message that he carried. Number 12. We believe in the authority of the Quran, and I can see parallels in the Bible as well, but again, time doesn't allow for this. But the Quran states, which for me is the authority, that Jesus spoke about a prophetic figure to come after him and gave his name, in fact, as Ahmad, which is another name of Muhammad, peace be upon him. You find that in chapter 61, verse 6. 13, finally. Even though the Quran does not mention that explicitly, there is one verse in the Quran that may be interpreted in the line of a number of other sayings of the Prophet, that Jesus the Blessed will come to earth again when the Mahdi, or the guided one, will be leading Muslims against the false Messiah, that he will join forces with Muslims, and that's the time when full unity between Muslims and Christians can be achieved, because they will hear it from the horse's mouth that he is none but a servant, a humble servant of God, as he described himself even in the New Testament, in which case there will be peace on earth, which we all look forward to. Thank you.